In the heart of Central America lies a land with a story etched in time. A story that began over 2,000 years ago, when the Mayan civilization graced these landscapes with its brilliance. Today, we embark on a journey through the annals of history, exploring Guatemala. Where echoes of the past resonate in the vibrant tapestry of the present. This nation, draped in lush vegetation, embraced by towering mountains, cradles one of the most captivating stories on the American continent. Join us on a journey through time, where a magnificent civilization once flourished, leaving behind a legacy that still resonates today. Join us in this celebration of life, a chance at experiencing the magic that Guatemala offers. A ring of fire weaves through the undulating lands above the clouds. Guatemala emerges as a living testament to over 2,000 years of history. It is said that over 2 million years ago, the Mayan civilization graced these lands, pioneering one of the few complete writing methods and achieving unparalleled advances in astronomy, mathematics, art, architecture, and economy. Imagine the awe-inspiring landscapes as large natural resources crystallized on the mountains, nurturing the rivers that cascade down to create a fusion of two worlds, a phenomenon said to be discovered half a millennium ago. Today, Guatemala stands as a testament to diversity, a kaleidoscope of climates, languages, and a rich diversity of flora and fauna. A living testament to a culture that flourished with absolute precision in astronomy, mathematics, art, architecture, and economy. The true wealth lies in the tapestry of its people. A mosaic of descendants from the Mayan culture and new settlers who started to arrive around 500 years ago. Creating a blend that defines the very essence of Guatemala today. It's a wealth that breathes through the forests, echoes through the mountains, dances in the lakes, and flows in the rivers. As we traverse the living culture of Guatemala, we witness wonders in every corner. In this small space, you encounter the breathtaking remnants of the Maya civilization. The jungles conceal archaeological sites, such as Maya El Mirador, a guidebook to the social, economic, and political marvels of the Mayans. Pyramids, sculptures, and unique architectural complexes unveils a spectacular development hidden in the heart of the jungle. Guatemala is a country blessed with an abundance of water, a resource scarce in many parts of the world. Rivers that hide beneath stones, limestone bridges stretching 300 meters through the tropical forest, and turquoise waters that captivate with their exuberant beauty. These scenes, like the pages of a captivating novel, makes Guatemala a must-visit destination. As we explore the historical sites in Antigua, Guatemala City, and the jungle, we marvel at Tikal, uncovering the layers of a story that extends from the ancient mystical Mayan era to the vibrant present. Artisanal arts, farm-produce thriving in fertile soils, and the breathtaking lakes and volcanoes all contribute to this cinematic odyssey. The arrival of the Spanish conquistadors in the early 16th century set the stage for a profound collision of cultures that would forever transform Mesoamerica. As the inheritors of classic Maya traditions struggled to incorporate the worldview of foreign invaders, sweeping changes reverberated through every aspect of life. This turbulent history left an indelible imprint on Guatemalan architecture. Wherever Spanish settlers established new cities, they imported European building styles championing grandeur and authority. Massive churches, stately town halls, and opulent houses for colonial administrators dominated central plazas, modeled after Spanish cities back home. Architectural mandates enforced uniformity, with shared features like open interior courtyards, arched colonnades, and red-tiled rooftops across civic structures. The most imposing buildings embodied spiritual domination, like the formidable Cathedral of Santiago de los Caballeros in Guatemala City, occupying the sacred site of a demolished Maya pyramid. Its Baroque facade and soaring bell towers symbolizes Catholic supremacy, while church walls were buttressed with carved Maya stones, echoing voices from the past. This architectural legacy perpetuated hierarchies. With the largest, most decorated buildings owned by Spanish elite and modest row houses for mixed-race traders and servants. Only remote villages maintain traditional thatched Maya structures, though overlays like wooden altars and saint statues filtered in over generations. Today's Guatemalan streets reveals layered histories with 16th century Spanish landmarks, neighboring glass skyscrapers, while the country grapples with its painful legacies. But reclaiming ancient sites, languages and traditions helps new generations build an inclusive national identity that celebrates the Maya imprint as a point of pride. Their resilience persists in Guatemala's very foundation. Now a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Antigua served as the capital of Spanish Central America from the 16th to 18th centuries, with structures from that era having survived earthquakes and eras to offer a glimpse into the cultural collisions following the conquest. The very layout of the city, in a grid pattern centered on open plazas and prominent Catholic churches, epitomizes Spanish town planning. Structural features like stucco and plaster coatings in vibrant yellows, reds and blues, arched entranceways, interior courtyards and decorative tilework bear hallmarks of Andalusian style favored by colonists from southern Spain.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Elaborate carved doors hearken to Spanish woodworking. Yet, Maya influence permeates, often literally, in the stones themselves. Many Antigua buildings feature carved volcanic tuff from destroyed Maya temples, repurposed in wall foundations. Sculpted Maya celestial images or hieroglyphs peek through stucco surfaces in fragmented vestiges. Even some doorways to Spanish homes retain Maya corbel arches, hinting at hybrid techniques. This blended of architectural heritage echoes in Antigua's history at the crossroads of two worlds. While monumental cathedrals and elite mansions dominated the central parades, the periphery hosted markets and residences where Maya and Spanish styles intertwined through generations of cultural exchange. Echoes of that complex fusion persist in facades all over Antigua today, making its streets a visual encapsulation of Guatemala's layered history. In Guatemala's colonial jewel Antigua, intricate ruins remind visitors that conquest is fleeting, but indigenous roots runs deep. Where every cobblestone whispers tales of conquests and resilience, where artisanal arts continues to thrive. It's a testament to the enduring spirit of a people. The streets adorned with vibrant hues are a canvas that tells stories of a bygone era and the resilience of a nation. As we venture into the heart of Guatemala, a land where emerald hues paints the horizons, we invite you to witness the marvels of the natural world as we explore the delicate balance between human existence and the vibrant ecosystems that defines this breathtaking country. The legacy of the ancient Maya still permeates the lush landscapes of Guatemala. Their ingenuity transformed epicenters like Tikal and El Mirador into sprawling urban hubs, the first great cities in the Americas.
They were installing the stars using before sticks to calculate the times, cycles. When they knew about the cycle, they built the plazas to commemorate the different cycles, to take the people to the plazas. Because the idea was to give to the people a life pacing. Because if you are the leader, you need to.
Monumental pyramid temples pierced jungle canopies, showcasing advanced engineering and devotion to cosmic deities, believed to permeate all earthly things.
For that reason, one Mexican chairman man, half and half, he was the first to use the word Mesoamerica. Mesoamerica is 500,000 of square kilometers from central Mexico until Honduras. He said Costa Rica, but in Costa Rica you don't have archaeological sites. And he said, I think all these groups, they live in the same cultural process. And for that reason, they created this word Mesoamerica more to describe a cultural region than a geographical area. And this is the right way to call all these people in the different periods, because they used like 3,000 years from the beginning 2000 before Christ, until the maximum splendor in 950 after. Then there was the collapse of the big cities, the abandon and the beginning of a new period called post-classic. But from the post-classic, we have beautiful cities like Chichen Itza, Mayapan, Tulum, Saila, Nacoa in the Yucatan Peninsula, and the small cities in the highlands of Guatemala and Chiapas, like Isimche, Cumarcac, Saculeo. The problem is when you were growing gradually for 3,000 years, you have the control of the situation. You have the leaders, the right leaders. When you collapse and you restart, you suffer the vacant of power. All the small states, they try to take the control of the situation, they start fighting each other. You don't have our knowledge because we are coming from a different light. We are coming from the people of the light, and you are coming from the forgiven people of Shivamba. You know, like all the religions, they gave a right explanation to make them happy. And they were doing the same of all the societies in the world. 360 days to work, 5 days to worship God, all together in the sacred city.
This classical Maya apex gave way to a mysterious abandonment, but descendants of those who forged ceremonial metropolises from the wild jungle still inhabits the land.
We need to, introduce a new order to rule the people. And they did that, but they couldn't destroy the culture because the culture is implicit in all the people, not only in the leaders. And you know, when you make believe the common people, it's almost impossible to cut these beliefs because for them it's the only heritage they have and it's their truth. Now, after 300 years of Catholic bomb, they are still Mayas. Because, in the Republican times, the Catholic Church moved a little bit to the light idea, no? If you come to the church and you baptize your children, if you follow the sacraments in the church, you pay the, your contribution, you can do what you want after the Mass. And for the reason in Guatemala, the 48% of the people, they are Mayas and they are still practicing and syncretism. In the morning they go to the church, but in the afternoon they go to the sacred hill to practice their beliefs. For that reason, we used to say that the Mayan culture is still alive. And the diffusionism of the culture, this is very important. Because you can imagine Tikal, there is a little platform under this pyramid. This is the 5th construction. The first one is 600 before Christ. But that means that the population started in 600 before Christ. But the first ruler is from 90 years after Christ. The new order started 690 years later because the cultural movement came later, growing, improving. When they had enough knowledge to create a pocket of life based in science. Because you can imagine after 800 years, if you start to think, I can create a calendar because I know the cyclicity of the nature and the things from the past are going to come back in the future. If I study mathematics and physics, I can calculate the cycles. You arrive here and you tell to the common people living, the magical knowledge of the nature. But you explain to them the nature is like this, and in this time, the sun is going to be dark during the day. The idea of these common people is these people, they talk with God. And they offer to these common people a pocket of life, a new lifestyle to improve their quality of life. And they probably offer to transform the little village in a beautiful city, which was the commitment. We are going to guide you and you are going to give us your labor forces. And they created this complex society in pyramidal shape. The ruler in the really top, the intellectuals, the second caste, in the third line, the priests, the fourth line, the high command militaries, and then the common people. And they explain to the common people, you don't have our knowledge because we are coming from a different line. We are coming from the people of the light, and you are coming from the forgiven people of Shivamba. You know, like all the religions, they gave a right explanation you know, to make them happy. And they were doing the same of all the societies in the world. 360 days to work, 5 days to worship God, all together in the sacred city. But I used to tell to the people, no, in Guatemala, only 20 years, in some places it's still happening. But here, for example, 20 years ago, during the Saint Patron fairs, the wealthy people, the ranch owner, they were giving the cows, the porks, the alcohol for the common people. And this weekend, for example, the entire week, 7 days, they were celebrating, but for example, Monday, Tuesday, they were more close to the religion. But them, the party, football games, drink, eat, the weekend, the best of the party. And what they were thinking, oh, these wealthy people, they are supporting us. They are giving us for free food and drinks, you know. And they were grateful with the ranch owners. Then they went back to their villages to work for another 360 days for the landowners without to complain. But now we have internet, we have television, and they know about the exploitation. And they understand more now that this money of the 2 cows or 5 porks was coming from their work. And they are a little bit, you know, unhappy. There is happening a divorce between the 2 social classes. Because the wealthy people, they also, you know, they think if they are not grateful with us, we don't give nothing. And the people, they can have more information. And sometimes, you know, this too much information is not completely positive. Because you need to digest the change. I don't want to be a little farmer, okay, I have to go to school to study. If I want to earn more money, I need to work more hours. You know, but the problem is when you want to be like the others, but you don't want to work like the others. You are only unhappy, but you are not doing something to change your life. And this is happening in our country because the information is arriving all together. You know too much, but you understand just a little bit. And the Mayas, they use exactly the same technique. 5 days, worshipping God all together, the semi-divine people sharing with the common people. Can you imagine in the plaza, no? God is very happy with you because you are supporting us. The people, they felt like included. And we don't have any evidence about revolutions in the Maya history because they knew how to conduce the people through the faith. It's easier to lead believers than slaves. In the Mayas, they had believers. The little farmers, they were paying a contribute, and plus they are giving the labor forces for free to the intellectuals. For the reason they built a lot of structures. Can you imagine, they used 260 days for agriculture, and then they had 100 days empty. They used the labor forces all together to build the structures and to clean the city, to maintain the city. In the last 5 days, worshiping God all together. And this was a commemorative plaza for the equinox and solstices. They knew with high precision the equinox and the solstices, even if here we don't have very clear the 4 seasons. We see the rainy season and the dry season, but they knew about the 4 seasons. The Mayas, they had more than 25 calendars. They knew about the elliptical movement, the ecliptical movement, their rotation, and about the oscillation of the planet. Because if you calculate 13 times 400 is 5,200, okay? Per 5 is 26,000 years. Is the precision of the equinox. Is when the Earth axis is straight with respect to the universe, not only the solar system. They understood many things. Probably they didn't arrive to confirm, but they had the perception about many important things. For example, the dynamic of the universe. Everything moving and everything connected, like the brain, you know, because they departed from the smaller part to the biggest part. It's all the same. The only difference is the size. They were very smart. So some people they talk about aliens and all these kind of things because we don't have the evidence to know how they arrived to this great knowledge. We need to compare because when you read, for example, in one of the codex, the Dresden Codex, this cycle, but you have here more clear the cycles because the Greeks they leave it more information. This is the same of this, it's the same of that. You need to do that because we don't have enough documents because the priest, the Catholic priest, they destroyed the 98% of the documents.
21 Maya groups totaling over 6 million people uphold one of the America's oldest continuous cultures. Echoes of ancient traditions resonates through practices still vital for these people today.
I think it's the same in ontology. But here, for example, the Mayan. And if you go to the highlands of Guatemala, you have the chance to share with them, to live most of their beliefs. And for example, they have this like practice. Every morning when you open your eyes, you need to say thank you very much. And they say great how. Great how is the great Lord. How you want, God or total power or total energy, but they call a how. Because I'm alive, I have a new day of opportunity. Them, thank you very much, Mother Earth, because you are providing me my home and my food. Them, thank you very much, ancestors, because thanks to you, we are here in this world, and I'm happy. This is the gratitude. Them, toch. The toch is the good action of today. And when you start to practice this, is funny because sometimes you are walking and somebody, asks you, do you have a quetzal, no? And sometimes you don't turn. But in my case, for example, when I go like 2 meters, I'm missing my opportunity, because they are your opportunity to do your action.
To do your good.
And it's not the quantity, it's the intention.
True.
If you find a hungry dog and you give a
feed
bread,
it.
it's the same. You put water in a dry plant, it's the same. It's your good action. But for the Mayas, and I was remembering in the Bible is the same. You need to confess. Because the word is the action. If you just do, it's an intention. If you confess with your mouth, and when you do that, when God you tell to the Mother Nature, this is my purpose. Take it in because I'm doing this with my purpose. You are opening the doors of the blessing. After you eat, you have all the right to ask. And this is the famous hand. It's easy to understand this because we have all the responsibility of our life. But if we leave the responsibility to God, it's complicated. When I fell in the motorcycle 1 month ago, my friends, they told me, God saved you. And I told them, but if I accept that He saved me, I need to accept that before He pushes me. Because I'm giving the responsibility. I fell because I was so tired, and the situation, the daily pacing, paying more attention. But of course, the gratitude because I understand, God is the energy, is the spiritual part of us. And the Mayas, they were pantheistics, no polytheistics. They had one God, and this one God is known as Unaku. It's the same of Yahweh and it's the same of Allah. But the archaeologists, they give the title of God to the natural forces, the water, the wind, the sun, the moon, the corn. But they call these gods minor gods. And they use the little g. But when they talk about Unafku, is the big G. Is the only God. Is they call them the main God. But if you search about the attributions of Unafku, Yahweh, and Allah, you are going to discover that are the same attribution. It's one God with different names. Because the big mistake is to think that God is a personal name. God is a concept. And you can call this concept in different names, but it's the same concept. And they wrote in the Chilambalams very clear. When the great builder, the great creator, the great giver of life finished his creation, he decided to disappear. And he disappeared in his creation. God is implicit in everything. Everything included us. Following this concept, we are not living in the universe, we are the universe. And I try to explain in a very easy way to my sons this. We are going to try to speed up, and then we are going to pray to God to don't take it in our faces. Say we are going to take it, that's it. It's impossible to practice evil and then go to the church to ask for good. In the Maya culture, if you damage somebody, you need to repair the damage. It's not only to go to the church to pray, oh my God, and you need to repair the damage to untie the knot. Other way, you are going to be tied to this world and your in this consequence. And we have 48 cantones, like Maya municipalities, and they have the right to practice the justice according to their cultural concepts, if the crime is not so high. For example, you steal 2,000 quetzales to your neighbor. The Maya authorities, the elders, they confirmed that you were the one who took the money. They take you to the plaza and they convoke all the community. And if it's the first time, your parents or your big brothers, they can punish you in front of the people using the whip. And then you have to give back the money to your neighbor and ask for pardon. This is the only way to repair the damage. In our justice, is different. I steal you 2,000 quetzales. The police catch me and put me in jail. Okay, for 2 months, 3 months. Then I'm free. But what about your money? We don't repair the damage. And for them, this is very important because each mistake is a nut. In this sense, for example, when I had the accident, I have a lot of Mayan spiritual leaders, and they told me, but what happened before the accident? And to tell me, if you lived something negative before.
Here you can see the 7 temples. And this is the habits that I was telling you before, to follow the sun movement. From December to June. When you use three markers, you have 90 days between each structure. This winter, spring, summer, and autumn, 360 days. Here you have 12 movements because they were using the 30-day cycle here to manage the rain. And I know the explanation is great. It is about the Egyptians. They use the shade masks to materialize more or less the shape, the ruling. So the shade represent the immortality. They use the bones as seat of the family. But the reason many times the post-classic rulers, they came to the classic sites and they exhumed the part of the skeletons, like femurs, long bones, and they carved the bones and they used the bones as ceremonial scepters. I heard a theory, it's like 3 years ago. The Mayas, they collapsed because they went into degeneration, because they were, like opening the tombs and taking, but for the Occidental people, this is like a profanation. But for the Maya people, this is a big honor to have the possibility to take a part of your ancestor's skeleton and to use this bone as ceremonial scepter, because you are like connecting yourself with the ancestors, and you are legitimizing the power you're using. This is the idea of the construction of the South Acropolis.
You see the south of If you want to imagine how was Tikal before the first archaeological project, like this, many people, they passed through Tikal and they didn't discover the place. We have a letter from 1696, a Catholic priest, Andrés de Avendaño. He came from Yucatan, trying to talk with the Maya leader in Flores now, no, Petén in the past. And he tried to use the famous requirement with the Spanish people. We don't want to make the war against you because we are coming in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. The only thing you need to do is to accept our king, because he's the only really king in the world, because it was decided by God. And our God is the only true God in the world. These two options. If the indigenous, they accepted these two options, okay, no war, but they took their lands. When he came here in 1696, Andrés de Avendaño, he wrote, and I talked a couple of hours with the Canek, and he told me, if you don't go in the next minutes, we are going to kill you. He escaped, and he got missed from the normal way to go to Campeche. He said, in 4 leguas from the big lake, I found conical mountain, and I went up to recover the orientation. Very probably he was here in Tikal, but he didn't. But everything was covered.
Rising above the sprawling epicenter of the ancient Maya city, the striking form of Temple 5 has towered over Tikal for over 1,500 years. Flanked by temples to its north and south, Temple 5 anchors Tikal's central acropolis, an imposing complex embodying royal power, with palaces and monuments ascending in layers.
They took the material from there to build the main plaza. Then they just put clay on the bottom of the quarries to use the quarries as reservoirs. No. This is the last big monument from the early classic period. Then the Mayas, they had 125 years of hiatus, like a very big crisis. The architecture was increased. And when they restart, they recovered the economy and the political importance. 125 years later, in 682, the leader, the new ruler, he decided to build practically a new place. And this became the historical center of the town. And the main plaza, Temple 1, Temple 2, North Acropolis, Central Acropolis, Temple 4, Temple 3, Temple 6, and the Twin Pyramid complex. Well, we're part of the
Temple 5 stepped pyramid structure, built in 9 tiers to culminate in an enclosed shrine room at its peak. This talud tablero style, featuring inset rectangular panels, echoes architecture influenced by Teotihuacan during Tikal's 4th century Golden Age, under rulers expanding ties with central Mexico. Vertiginous wooden staircases on the temple's west face and twin entryways framed by round columns offer access points for ritual activities. The inner sanctum's well-preserved, colorfully painted walls and benches indicates elite ceremonies were hosted within, while large exterior platforms accommodated public gatherings. Inscriptions on stone monuments arrayed around Temple 5's base records key events like the accession of King Moon Doublecomb in the 6th century. While less substantial than Tikal's massive central temples 1 and 2, Temple 5 takes on special significance from its orientation. Built along a carefully planned line linking sacred structures to track the sun's seasonal movements, this smaller temple's summit precisely aligns with points marking equinoxes and solstices on the horizon. As such, it operated as a solar observatory and sacrificial altar complex, essential to Maya cosmology and calendars underpinning Tikal's long reign. Though the kingdom ultimately collapsed, Temple 5's resilient architecture shelters centuries of rulers invoking mythic and celestial forces to channel temporal power.
They probably thought you were going to feed them.
As the vibrant heart of this powerful Maya city, Tikal's Grand Plaza hosted ceremonies and spectacles witnessed by thousands over the kingdom's centuries-long fluorescence. At the plaza's north end looms the soaring stepped form, Temple 1, its roof comb once crowned by carved wooden shelters and brilliantly painted plaster, rising nearly 150 feet towards the heavens. Flanked by sprawling palace complexes, likely home to Tikal's royal dynasty, the Grand Plaza's vast paved expanse opens southward to embrace the great market. An essential hub for regional trade and exchange of both mundane and luxury goods. Stone platforms lining the plaza's east and west ends may have hosted elite audiences and important offerings, with all eyes and spiritual energy focused towards Temple 1 and its tombs, sheltering Tikal's exalted rulers. The awe-inspiring scale of the Grand Plaza was integral to lavish events, affirming sacred royal power, like the installation of new kings, royal marriages, or war victories. Its central location also reinforced Tikal's far-reaching prominence in connecting peripheral zones to the heart of the kingdom through economic, political, and cultural activity, converging here for over a millennium. Even after Tikal was abandoned to jungle encroachment in the 10th century AD, the Grand Plaza's architectural resilience never fully faded from regional memory. Its magisterial steps and soaring temples still project cultural authority today as one of the most emblematic Maya city centers ever unearthed. New technology lets us rediscover what was lost to jungle expanses. LIDAR mapping revealed 60,000 structures under canopies in northern Guatemala, exposing the true vastness of sites like Tikal during the late Classic peak, where 7 to 11 million inhabitants inhabited the region. Laser surveys unveil networks of highways, fortresses, and neighborhoods, showing Maya mastery over the environment. Guatemala City itself sits upon the remnants of Caminaljuyu, a pre-classic Maya megacity rivaling any highland Andean capital today. Volcanic peaks dot Guatemala's breathtaking terrain. A country encircled by the fiery embrace of 37 volcanoes. The Mayans revered these volcanoes as gods, recognizing their strength and power. The volatile Pacaya volcanoes. Otherworldly lava flows inspires awe, and legends tell of gods speaking through rumbling volcanoes. Ancient Mayans viewed them as sacred portals, where deities emerged to shape the land. That spiritual wonder persists through modern Maya daykeepers in highland towns like Santiago Atitlan, who still reads the calendar in celestial cycles. From the misty highlands, volcanoes guard over Lake Atitlan, described by Aldous Huxley as the most beautiful lake in the world. Its deep ancestral blue sustains the Tzutujil Maya people, as it did their forebears for millennia. Scarlet macaws, sacred to Maya royalty, and sun gods, still soar over ruins being retaken by persistent forest. On market days in Totonicapán, Maya weavers in vibrant huipil dresses sell textiles almost identical to those buried with ancient nobles. Men in ceremonial outfits move in timeless dances to marimba music that would sound familiar 1,000 years ago. These modern bearers of ancient knowledge maintain cosmic calendars, helping humanity find our path. Their message is carried in threads they still dye with natural indigo and cochineal pigments mastered by their ancestors. The Popol Vuh's hero twins, reborn and triumphant, still dances across theatre stages and murals across the land. This age-old story shaped the Mayans' concepts of cycles, rebirth and duality is still embodied across aspects of modern culture. The natural bounty that fed the ancient Maya helps sustain life today. Organic coffee grown under volcanoes and shade trees brings global prestige. Jade, quetzal feathers and jaguar motifs carry through from kings of old to acclaimed modern artists and designers, sharing the Mayans' perspective with the world. The prophecy foretold that the Maya would disappear before returning as rainbow warriors when humanity needs their wisdom most. Today, Maya people stand resilient as inheritors and stewards of ancient knowledge passed down through generations. The cosmology carved into ancient altars still inspires a collective pride and creativity. Children learn ancient heritage languages in schools, promoting cultural revitalization. Maya legacy permeates Guatemala through timeless wisdom passed down by elders. Whispering wind through maize fields and rumbling volcanoes. This deep connection to the earth and cosmos gave their civilization great feats of architecture, math, writing, and artistry unmatched in their era. The same wealth of spirit flows through vibrant Maya communities today, from the highlands weavers inheriting ancient patterns to activists using ancestral pride as calls for equality. It seems the prophecy has come true. The Maya have returned wearing rainbow colors, reminding humanity where our roots lie. We only have to lift our eyes to see them and listen to hear their message. Through the market hub of Panajachel, women in embroidered dresses sell handcrafts made with techniques unbroken from days when gods walked the earth. In the Western Highlands, the sacred calendar and costume dance rituals still marks the agricultural cycles of life, death, and rebirth. Through these embodied rituals, the deep understanding of humanity's place within the web of life flows forth from the same source. Spring that inspired the Popol Vuh's hero twins to defeat the underworld gods. The towering Tajumulco volcano watches over Guatemala's western highlands, dotted with villages that remain strongholds of Maya identity. In the community of Chajul, a sacred 260-day Tzolk'in calendar determines auspicious days for rituals like the blessing of corn seeds planted for harvests to come. Neighboring San Mateo Ixtatan still uses the ancient Maya method of backstrap weaving, creating textiles almost identical to those buried in pyramids and jungle shrines across the old empires. Designs interwoven with birds, big cats and serpents hark back to when shamans would transform into were-jaguars and vision serpents as conduits to the spirit realm. The tenacious Maya soul persists through artisans, activists, and elders, passing on teachings through the generations. From misty mountains to sweltering jungles, the sacred landscape of what is now Guatemala still teems with temples, pyramids, and monuments showing the handiwork of the ancient Maya. But their greatest legacy endures through living culture, the cosmology, arts, and ethos of resilience that indigenous communities draw upon today. Like the majestic Quetzal's tail feathers sought by kings, the Maya soul persists in Guatemala as an eternal, renewing wellspring of humanity's wisdom. From Guatemala's steamy jungles to arid Pacific coast, Maya ingenuity transformed challenging environments into thriving urban centers and lush agricultural lands, feeding millions. Staple crops they domesticated like corn and beans are still essential across Latin American cuisine today. The chocolate they discovered and revered finds new life in award-winning Guatemalan brands. In the northern Petén region, ancient metropolises almost swallowed by jungle are being uncovered through LIDAR mapping to reveal over 60,000 structures, making up sprawling cities. Laser surveys show raised highways connecting sites like Tikal, Huachactún, and El Mirador, one of the first great cities of the Americas, spanning 16 square kilometers by 150 BC. Population estimates based on this technology indicate 7 to 11 million inhabitants across the central Maya lowlands. Even Guatemala City stands upon the ruins of Caminaljuyu, a late pre-classic Maya megacity, rivaling the grandeur of Teotihuacan. Its mounds and remaining carved monuments attest to mastery of massive architecture and irrigation systems, sustaining over 100,000 citizens. In the carved visages of ancient rulers and deities, the legacy of skilled Maya artisans carries forth through generations. Pastel colors and natural themes persist in the renowned naive primitive style of 20th century Kaqchikel painter Andres Kurucic. Contemporary artists like Guillermo Grajeda Mena modernize hieroglyphs and codices into stark tableaus, speaking to today's realities. The prophecy told of Maya knowledge disappearing before returning through the rainbow warriors when most needed. As guardians of an unbroken knowledge lineage, today's Maya healers, weavers, farmers, activists and artists embodies that promise. Their voice rings out in defense of territory, identity, and vision, using new tools but drawing from the same deep wellspring of resilience and connection to the earth that sustained their ancestors.
เก็บยังว่าฟังติปลาสุกหน่อยให้บ่
Beyond monumental feats of architecture and engineering, some of the most precious Maya legacy survives through the Guatemalan landscape itself. The very maize, beans, chilies, and cacao that gave rise to their splendid civilization. Today, Maya descendants uphold age-old agricultural wisdom, tending heirloom varieties on small mountain plots, little changed from a millennium ago. Through backbreaking work, they uphold a sacred covenant of sustenance tied to rituals that honor the land. This ancient lifeway persists most purely in places like the Quiche Maya village of Chichicastenango and its surroundings. On Thursdays and Sundays market days, Chichi fills with Quiche villagers who still adhere to the 260-day Tzolkin calendar for auspicious days to trade, marry, or start new ventures. Women pass market stalls, draped in hand-woven huipil dresses, whose jewel tones and symbolic patterns connects them to their beloved grandmothers and great-great-grandmothers before them. All the way back to Ixchel, the moon goddess who first taught weaving to their ancestors. The Quiche still practices sky-watching to determine planting cycles, honoring how their forebears innovated some of the world's most diverse agriculture to feed great civilizations. They speak the language called the mouth and face of the people, which nearly disappeared, but is now preserved through cultural revitalization, touching all generations. From ancient staples like corn, beans and chilies to cacao's sacred drink, Maya flavors continues to seduce palates through time. Today, Guatemala earns global acclaim for premium coffee and chocolate-reflecting terroir, shaped by volcanoes and generations of accumulated wisdom. Maya herbs, medicinal and ceremonial, carry through too, like burning fragrant copal incense to cleanse energy or remedy ailments with forest plants, mastered over centuries of healing practices. High-end cacao plantations like Chocola work directly with Maya farmers, blending indigenous variety with sustainable techniques to craft award-winning single-origin bars. Endless combinations of corn dough stuffed with herbs, meats or sweet fruits persist on street corners as mini tamale stands, feeding the masses across the country. Iconic Pepian stews meld native chili peppers with lingering Spanish influence. While challenges remain, education from cities to mountain villages, Maya children grow up speaking once a suppressed heritage languages now preserved for future generations. Students access scholarship programs supporting the doctors, entrepreneurs and leaders who will shepherd communities grounded in identity while empowered to thrive on the world stage. Guatemala's richest bounty flows from the diverse beauty of the land and the resilience of remarkable cultures, taking root over generations. It's the Maya people who tended this abundance through millennia and will carry their wisdom forward over horizons yet to come. Their teachings reminds us that we all emerge from soil and return to earth, bound by cycles of life, death, and rebirth, everlasting. From the echoes of the Mayan civilization to the pulsating beat of modern-day traditions, this journey is a symphony of history, culture, and the undeniable resilience of a nation that thrives amidst the ever-changing tides of time. The past and present dances together, and Guatemala whispers.